Reserve. The root of all our evil, it begins with the Federal Reserve. Hey, yeah, well, let's go back in time when everybody was so proud of a man.
I'm Tommy Salmons. This is year 0. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Eric the Rebel from Rebel with a Cause podcast. Eric was at Childerberg with me, so we decided to do a podcast on our takeaways from Childerberg, how much fun we had, tell a few stories, try not to get anybody in trouble. But it was a fun podcast, just as Childerberg was a blast. So, if you weren't there, I hope to see you there next year, because this is going to be a permanent staple in my life. As always, RyanBunting.com. For all of your graphic design needs, go to RyanBunting.com. Ryan Bunting is a great libertarian and anarcho-capitalist. He's also a great graphic designer. Ryan Bunting designed my podcast logo and Pete Quinones' podcast logo for Free Man Beyond the Wall. So go to RyanBunting.com for all of your podcast the graphic design needs, not podcast needs. Come here for your podcast needs. Go to RyanBunting.com for all of your graphic design needs. And excuse my little twisting of the tongue. I will leave it there just so you all know I am not perfect, which, is probably obvious by now. Thank you, Tom Burton, for the music. You're the best, dude. And we are still expanding Beatrix business. So if you know anybody who's looking for part-time administrative services, get in touch with me, TommySalmons@gmail.com. Beatrix has been a virtual assistant working with many small businesses, political campaigns, and podcasters for quite a while now, and we will be expanding the business. I will be joining her in these ventures, and so it will be kind of like a little mom and pop virtual assistant, virtual administration business with Beatrix and I working together. So that is TommySalmons@gmail.com if you want to learn more about these services offered by us. Okay, so off to the races. Here is the podcast. Enjoy.
Careful.
Okay, I am here with Eric from Rebel with a Cause. What's going on, bub?
Things have been happening since Childerberg, my friend.
Like I said, I wasn't even going to attempt to say your last name.
Yeah, that's okay. Everyone gets it wrong.
I warned you. I warned you as soon as you told me everybody fucks my last name up. I said, whenever you're on my podcast, I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah, absence is the better part of valor, right there.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It was really funny because when we moved down here to Louisiana, someone tried to Cajuanize my last name. It was like, "Is that Halligay?" And I was like, "Oh my god, no! That's like the worst one ever. What? Don't do that to me." And of course, when I was in the Army, of course, they got to fuck with you then. So.
Oh yeah, they never.
And you got the weird last name.
Yeah, they get it wrong on purpose as much as possible. Yes. I got called everything from salamander to catfish.
Yeah, I gotta love it. Just completely wrong fish. Yeah.
Yeah. Just whatever. Yeah, I think even for a while they called me Trout.
Yeah.
I mean.
I was like, oh, this is the nickname that's getting stuck with me. Well, unfortunately, I kind of sort of look like Vincent D'Onofrio. So at one point, like the drill sergeant looked down and he goes, "Private Pile. That's what you look like." I was like, God damn it.
That's all right. We had one kid I was in basic with. His last name was Storm.
Oh, God.
Okay. So like week one.
Never-ending barrage.
Yeah, week one, it went from Storm to Breeze.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I don't even remember exactly at what point it was, they just started calling him Queef.
It's not too far of a jump from Breeze, I guess.
Yeah, so.
That's the little wind. Yeah, we had all kinds. We had one guy, his last name was Honeycutt, and that guy got an endless barrage of Winnie the Pooh jokes. So
Yeah.
come on, honey jar.
We had a kid named Redfern.
I'm sorry for him. Oh,
Yeah,
automatically.
So they were calling him anything from fucking Lassie to all this because of that movie from where the red fern grows.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were calling him all kinds of dogs names. They called him Snoopy for a while. And,
Oh my God.
yeah, he got everything.
Yeah, the only one that I never got along with was one kid who made it known that his daddy was a command sergeant major somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody liked that one.
No.
That
my daddy
guy
was a
was the
sergeant
life
major.
of the party right there.
Yeah,
that dude
well,
was a blast.
He was the life of a blanket party.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and continue to lie about my military service and.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I fortunately I don't know who that guy is. I saw the tweets, and I did listen to a little bit of Shane Hazel's talking about him, but I have no idea. The only reason, and I didn't even realize this until today, that the only reason I knew who he was is because he had been on Pete's podcast at one point in time.
Yeah,
and he was asking Pete about his military service, and Pete was like, no. He's like, Scott's, and he was like, no. He's like, somebody at the Institute, and Pete was like, Tommy. He goes, yeah, maybe that's who I'm thinking of. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't know how you knew who I was. I didn't know who the fuck you were.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, lying piece of shit. You're even lying about that, you motherfucker. No, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and Patrick had been on his YouTube thing at the same time, and
yeah, that's what Patrick told me. Yeah,
yeah, it was like at one point he's like, I'm sitting there looking behind him, and he's got these picture frames on the wall, but there's no pictures in them, but all of them are hung up, and I'm like, that's a little weird. And of course, like in the group chat that I'm in, they're like, I was like, well, that's some white trash shit. And I was like, dude, I've lived in several trailer parks. We ain't never done that shit.
I've been the trashiest of the white trash, and I ain't ever trashed that hard.
We may have left the picture that was in the frame when we bought it because those people looked better than us, but I mean, there was something in there.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, Shane was like, I'm going to give you a chance, buddy. Come clean. You know, we'll take it easy on you. And the guy was just like, now go fuck yourself, and deleted his account. So
yeah, and I've never talked to Shane, but Shane seems like a straight up guy, just from what I know.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, I've never had the opportunity to speak to him. I do want to talk to him though, because I realized I looked at his profile a while back, and I realized he does woodwork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk to him from like kind of an agorist point of view on learning to do those things and like getting involved in that shit, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And so I think that would be an interesting conversation, you know?
He would definitely be all for it because it's something outside the realm of Georgia politics and libertarian crap. So yeah, he would.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck about that shit.
Yeah.
I really don't care about that stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's all good for those people that are involved, and I'm all, have fun, guys. Like, I ain't mad at you, but it's not my deal. I did get approached today, which is kind of strange. I got an email
You
today.
got approached by a lot lizard? Is that what you're telling me?
No. Lot lizard, you know what, man? Lot lizards have not approached my truck since Boogie has gotten big enough to look scary.
Yeah, they don't like dogs.
Nobody comes near my fucking truck anymore. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of a blessing in disguise. Yeah, they don't want to be bothered by.
I got some fucking crazy stories about lot lizards, but that's not what we're here. That's not what we're here to talk about today. But we will.
Not today.
One of these days we'll get into that shit. But no, I did get approached today by the Texas nationalist movement. No doubt.
This Texas secession.
Yeah, but they're looking for a coordinator in my area that lives in my area. So I was talking to the guy, and I told him, I said, look, man, I'm a truck driver. If it's not a paid position, it's not something I'm going to be able to do. I'm sorry. Right. I would love to help you out, but I just can't. Because it is something that I believe like even agorists can work for a decentralization as far as that goes. So we are going to get on a video call, me, him, and one of their head coordinators of the region are going to get on a video call on Monday, and we're going to be talking about ways that the Libertarian Party and libertarians in general, especially those in Texas, can assist the Texas nationalist movement, and we can create some sort of coalition together. So that's going to be
that sounds sweet.
Conversation. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to talking to this guy. It's not going to be recorded, so this one's going to be in private, but I will have the guy on this show. So we will get into things like that in the future. Yeah. So hopefully we can find a way to work with some of these guys that have similar mindsets but aren't quite libertarian, our own Texas paleo strategy, per se. But yeah.
Well, you probably agree on, at least 50% of the stuff.
Probably 80%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they rage against the wars because of the waste of money, Yeah. Which, okay, fine.
Well, yeah. And also the National Guard of Texas getting sent over there, I'm sure. So. Right.
I don't know if they were involved in that Defend the Guard stuff. I need to talk to Scott before I talk to these guys and see if they had done any of that activism on the Defend the Guard. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, that would be right up their alley then, because keep the Texas National Guard in Texas.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that would be
one step closer to Gomez.
Which that the Kyle Biederman, the state legislator that had introduced Texas to the legislation, actually was one of the leaders of the people that blocked the Defend the Guard legislation, believe it or not. It was actually odd. I was like, this doesn't really make sense. Scott
those
Spalding
two don't jive.
Yeah. Scott Spalding pointed that out to me, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And so yeah.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, just in like the 2 seconds I was just talking to you, I mean, you want to keep the Texas National Guard in Texas. I don't understand why you would say it's okay for the federal government to send them wherever.
Well, I don't think Biederman is technically part of the Texas nationalist movement. I think they just got him to advocate for the referendum.
Yeah. Okay.
And to introduce the referendum.
I got you. So not a deep thinker then. Okay.
He's a state legislature in Texas. Yeah, I wouldn't accuse him of being a deep thinker in any sort of stretch of the imagination. Yeah, but yes, we were both at Childerberg. That's what we're here to talk about.
Childerberg.
We were both at Childerberg, and I contacted you, and I was like, "Hey, man, I want to talk about the white pill, the chill pill, if you will."
Yes, definitely.
God, the rhyming. But yeah, I came away extremely fucking impressed by not just Childerberg. I had a blast at Childerberg.
Yeah.
Anybody who listened to Slurp Gang podcast understands.
Oh my God. The 2 hours of psychosis and delusions. so great.
Everybody knows that everybody had just an absolute blast. It was Burning Man for peasants.
Yep.
And so we had an absolute fucking blast. And but I was super impressed with the youth. Namely Cody, Cotton, Ace Archist, and Nick. I spent, out of everybody I talked to there, I spent as much time talking to them as any of the other people I hung out with there.
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Like the old dudes like us and Scott, Horton was over there like holding court every now and then.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was the greatest thing. And plus all these kids, they arrived to this position a lot earlier than I did, it's.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, just Ace and within himself is probably at 25 years old is already better read than I am,
Yeah.
And it's just like, Jesus, dude, I got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. At one point, I know Anthony Samaroff handed him his book, Universal Income For and Against. And I think Ace had that thing read in a couple of hours. Because every time I turned around, he was like turning and he was thumbing through it. And then next thing you know, the book was like closed and he threw it back in his tent. So I was like, I think he read it while we were there. So
nice. Yeah. My buddy, a listener of mine, a real good friend of mine, I'm not going to throw his name out because I don't have permission. it bought me that book months, probably about a year ago. And sent it to me. Yeah, and that was a great book. I love Anthony, and I give him a hard time, but I love him to death. And Beatrix loves him to death. Everybody loved Anthony. He's so much fun.
Oh yeah, he's on that Slurp Gang podcast. There's like one philosophical joke he told that just fell flat on its face. It was actually kind of painful. I was like, oh, that one bombed. Oh no. That's okay. They all can't be zingers. So
yeah, no. But yeah, no. So when you showed up, when did you show up to Childerberg? When did you get there?
Let's see, Friday, the night of the torrential downpour, and we can get into the legend of Grillbur here in a minute because that involves that. But yeah, Saturday afternoon, I had picked up Rachel Tobias and her boyfriend, the guys that was selling the hot sauce all over the place.
Yeah, shout out to Rachel and her boyfriend. I don't know if he wants his name spoken, but that fucking hot sauce is the shit. And if anybody wants it, I'll get you in touch with them. That shit is fucking badass.
Yeah,
that pineapple bacon habanero. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, I think he sold out of that one first. Then he had some that was a little bit special because it had some extra plant matter in it. So
yes, he did. Yeah. And I
would have never thought to put that in hot sauce, but okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, and it was good. I tasted it; it was good. Yeah,
yeah. So Saturday we pull up to the campsite. We had to stop at the HEB, so I had to expose some New Yorkers to HEB, and so we got there like around 3:30 Saturday, right before the show at the distillery.
Yeah,
where we stayed for the rest of the night until everyone started coming back. So, yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, all right. So we left Saturday morning around 11, and my mom had come to stay with our older dog because he would have never survived that. I mean, he would have.
Oh yeah, that probably would heat all day long. Yeah.
Well, no, not even that. He would have given himself a heart attack because of all the other dogs there.
Oh
yeah. And so, so we left about 11 Saturday morning, and got stuck in 2.5 hours of traffic on the way there. And so we ended up getting there at 6 o'clock at night.
Ouch.
And yeah. But the first thing we did, we got out, and there was and I don't want to go speaking people's names. So if I don't say your name, you know who you are. I'm going to throw out descriptors here. There was the redheaded dude that was so excited that he met Scott Horton, but couldn't get over the fact that we didn't tell him he was hanging out with Scott Horton. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So
that guy had a massive burn all over his body.
Yeah, man. That dude looked like a lobster by the time it was all said and done, man.
It was rough.
Yeah, but he was cool, man. He was fucking funny as shit, man. I had a blast with that guy. So he was the first person I ran into. We pull up next to the porta potty, and I'm like, I don't see anybody I know, and I see BR's flag. And I'm like, well, we're in the right place. I know we're in the right place. There's anarchist flags here. So I fucking get out and I walk up, and he's standing there and he's talking to another guy that I got to know pretty well Saturday and or Sunday, I guess. Saturday night through Sunday we hung out quite a bit. And I walk up and I'm like, hey man, we're trying to figure out where we're gonna put up our tent. And he's like, he just pointed at his feet and he goes, right here, but don't touch my pee-pee. I only like it in the butthole. And I was like, I already like this guy. I already like this motherfucker. So like, all right, straight up, dude. And I'm walking back to the truck and I hear a voice.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, what's going on? And I'm like, hold on, I'll be right back. So I take a left and I'll walk about 30 feet and Scott's sitting right there. And I was like, well, I'll know that voice any fucking where. And he gets up and greets us, and we meet Harley and everybody. And then so we go set up by Scott, and we're hanging out there. The guys from Elite E-Militia come over, hanging out with us. We hang out with them all weekend, have a blast with all them. Typo, major props. But in the process, Scott tells me I met Ace. And he seemed as excited as I imagined Ace was when it happened.
Right. Yeah.
And so I walked over to the other campground and the first person I saw was Nick.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, dude, and he goes, who are you? I'm like, Tommy. And he jumped up and gave me a huge hug. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so, and then Ace and Cotton get up and introduce themselves. And Ace looks at me and he goes, dude, I said, I heard you met Scott, dude. I'm so happy for you. Because he had told me before he's a huge Scott Horton fan.
Right.
He goes, I went total fangirl.
Yeah.
And I just laughed my ass off. I said, I think Scott did too, so don't be upset.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that goofy fangirl grin on his face. He's got that as his profile picture on Twitter right now. So
yeah. But no, so like as first impressions go, these guys were like super engaging and really wanted to be recognized by those of us that have kind of been around or have established ourselves in some way, which they were really like trying to ingratiate themselves with us, the older crowd, which is kind of flattering because it's like, who am I really, And how did you feel when you first met those guys?
Yeah, when I first met those guys, it was like, because I pretty much hang out with that kind of crew on Twitter and everything. And so getting to hang out with them in person, it's like, oh, yeah, no, we're actually having a conversation right now. And I don't have like a mic in between us or, tapping away on my phone or whatever. So, yeah, it was just, for me, it was just like homecoming. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt kind of like weird because the way they approached me, and I don't know if it's because I'm part of the Institute, what it is, but the way they approached me, they were kind of like, is it all right if I say, like, dude, who the fuck am I? But I loved every one of them, man.
I did that with Scott Horton because every time I wanted over there to go say hi, he was like, holding court. And then at one point he pulled up his little bug assault thing and he goes, flies ain't got rights. And I was like, okay, well, this is not a good time to say hi. I'll just wait. And unfortunately he left before I could. So.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. And that's next Childerberg.
Well, it took me to what was it, Sunday night before I found you?
Yeah, I wasn't even checking Twitter DMs at the point, and I was like looking down. I woke up like Sunday morning, I think, and I was like, "Oh man, Tommy sent me a message. Let me send him one right back."
Yeah, because I had been over there to 34 a couple of times Saturday, but I didn't see you, and I was just like, and then Sherry came over to hang out with us Sunday, and so we're all hanging out. And I'm like, dude, where's Eric? I haven't fucking seen. I know he's fucking here, And she's like, oh, come on, I'll show you where he's at. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. So she brought me over there. But there was so much going on. There were so many people, and if I have forgotten anybody, and I haven't, like followed you back on Twitter or something. It's not because I don't want to. It's because that just. So much was going on, and I wasn't paying attention to my phone, and I did lose my phone at one time. Luckily, I found it, but I did lose it for about an hour and a half Monday morning. I spent from like 5:30 to 7 o'clock Monday morning walking around looking for my fucking phone.
Retracing the steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's around here somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I knew it was dead, so it was like, whatever.
You can't even call it.
Well, and I always keep my ringer off too. So there's that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dang. Yeah, it was a crazy time. I'm glad everyone, I think at the height there was like 200 people there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I was at the first one. We had like maybe 30. So
I'd been wanting to go to one every year since the first one. I'd heard about it, and I had told Tasting Anarchy and In Car both that I was going to go, and I just never was able to go for whatever reason. Work usually got in the way, and this year I was just not accepting any excuse. Just go. Yeah, it was just like, we're going to go. And now Beatrix is like, we're never missing one again. She's like, we're buying.
She had a blast the whole time.
Man, yes, she loved everybody, and she was so concerned. Here's the thing, and here's why I'm so stoked about like what occurred there. Beatrix has this idea of us being podcasters, right, that if we are to get together, the only thing we're ever going to talk about is politics and philosophy and
right.
shit she has no fucking clue about. And I always tell everybody, I say, I can't tell you, I said it probably 100 times at Childerberg. She is a better agorist than me, and she has never read a fucking piece of fucking philosophy. Never once.
Right.
But she's actionable. She's always in it, doing it. Even without knowing what the fuck it is she was doing it. So the fact of the matter is, like, she was so concerned that she would get bored with the conversations, and she did not have...
No, that didn't happen.
There was not a dull fucking moment, man.
Right. She
had so much fucking fun.
Yeah, I've given her a new title, my new meat mama. So she brought out that homemade biltong, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
it was so funny to me because the other podcatcher was like, "What is this, beef tongue?" I was like, "No, biltong. I've been raving about this shit for like a year, guys. Come on, catch up." Yeah, because I stopped eating sugar and grains, and trying to find beef jerky that ain't got any sugar on it is a monumental task. So I came across biltong because it doesn't have any of that stuff on it. So I was like, "Oh man, this is great. This is going to be my replacement for beef jerky." And so when she said that she had some that she had made, I was like, "Up, zip, I'm right there."
Yeah, and that's a true South African recipe she's using right there.
Yeah.
But now you make your own, right?
Yeah, I've attempted it once, and I don't think I quite dried it all the way, so I might have to get one of those dehydrators to do it, because I tried doing it in the refrigerator, and I don't think I did it long enough. So
yeah,
I've never. I'm not coming out too good.
You know what? The dehydrators are so fucking easy to make, dude. All you need is a cardboard box, a couple of dowel rods, a computer fan, and a light bulb.
Yeah,
that's it, and you can fucking dehydrate the shit out of it.
Yeah, I've made one before out of a box fan and air conditioning filters before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just set it on its lowest speed, and it'll just air dry that way.
Yeah. Ours is set up. Ours is a big wooden box that I have a buddy who does woodwork, and he made it for her for for moving to America. He was like, welcome home, kind of deal. And so he made her this big fucking thing. The goddamn thing's 6 foot tall.
Nice.
And it's got it's got shelves underneath it. It's on legs, and it's got shelves underneath it, and it's about 4 foot of dehydrating area. So we got these long. I got a picture of when we're making the biltong we brought with us. We got these long ass strips of fucking beef just hanging there, like 3 foot long strips that she ended up having to cut so she can fit it in the Tupperware. Yeah, so I'll get you that recipe though, and I'll make sure you can get in touch with her anytime so you can talk to her how to do it. She'll walk you through that shit. She loves that shit. She's like, I want to be the biltong queen, and I want to have a this biltong empire, but she keeps telling people how to fucking make it, and I'm like, no one's gonna buy it from you if you keep telling them how to fucking make it.
Yeah, come on, learn from your local crack dealer. You get free samples at first. So.
But yeah, we brought how many? I think she made like 8 pounds.
Yeah,
and
she had like a couple of pounds by the time I got there.
It was gone.
Yeah, and after that, it was all gone.
Yeah, we had 2 strips left, and we saw Bird and Rolo leaving, and they stopped to say bye. And I was like, hey, man, we got a couple more pieces of that biltong. You want it? And Bird was like, fuck yes.
Yes.
He wasn't even playing with that shit. I think he probably ate 5 pounds on his own. Like seriously, he was eating the shit out of it. He loved it. And he just kept going up to Beatrix and grabbing her by the shoulders going, thank you for this.
Yeah, I don't even know why she would even think she was even bored. Everybody loved her. She was having a blast. Except for when Butters and
it was before we went. She was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to fit in here. And I'm like, no, trust me, you're going to enjoy these people. But yeah, I always tell her people only tolerate me because of what she brings to the table.
Right.
But, that's just basically that's the general concept of our relationship. If I ever got a fucking stupid idea and left her, I would have no friends left.
Sometimes it works out like that. It's like the family keeps the wife in the divorce. It's like, no, we'll say hi to you on your birthday. Yeah.
But yeah,
it works out like that.
And then BR of all people, I'd never even heard of the guy, and we sat,
he like walked up behind me while I was making chili, and I didn't recognize him at first because I never seen his face. And then he started talking. I was like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, what's up, mate? I was like, oh, there he is.
I swear this guy was like, it was like talking to him like me with a really bad accent.
Right.
Like we sat and we fucking hung out. I don't know how long we fucking talked, man, but it was probably a good two or 3 hours just straight, just talking. And it was just like, I feel like I've known this dude forever, Right. So.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
He's really cool. I'm gonna have a lot of fun getting him on the podcast. We're gonna.
He got bit by the Texas bug.
Yeah,
so the day afterward, him and his girlfriend were talking about moving there.
Yeah,
I was like,
so
wow.
did Bird. So did Bird. I was like, hell yeah, that's what we need.
Bird was like, I've held an AR-15 and I've been to Texas. This is all I want now.
Who needs to be an ANCAP when you can be a Texan? Is what he said.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of laughed because I was like, hey, Bird, I had a precision rifle and a Glock over there. You could have fondled too,
That's what he kept saying. He kept saying, everybody wants me to hold their guns, so I'll move to their state.
Like, look what you could have.
Yeah.
And this is just the stuff that's actually legal.
Right. Now, I did not get to eat any of Shanty Cook. Is that what they're called? Yeah,
the Shanty Cook. I think they go by Cook Shanty on Twitter.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
But yeah, that's a little boyfriend and girlfriend team, and they did a fantastic job with the jambalaya biscuits and gravy one morning, and then of course the fat conkins on the last day.
Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball because I had the stuff there with me to make my grandpa's drop biscuits.
Right.
And I was going to make them in cast iron. But I woke up drunk Sunday, and then I just started drinking. And I had like 3 cups of coffee, and then I just started drinking. And after that, I was just like, I'm not cooking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so Beatrix was like, well, fuck it. I'll just start cooking boudin. And so she started making boudin and sausage all day.
Yeah, so props to them. They let me use their propane torch so I could make my chili, which nobody ate but me. So that's okay.
Oh, man. I would have eaten it. I totally forgot you were cooking chili, honestly. It was
everybody did. I mean, I was like, by the time I made the announcement, everyone was like deep in conversation, and it was like, oh yeah, that blue pot over there, cool. And then I went back and I was like, wow.
But if it makes you feel better, I didn't even eat any fat conkins.
So yeah,
I didn't. Yeah, I had eaten way too many portobello mushrooms, and I was full.
Yeah,
and so there was no eating anything after that. I could barely even move, man. I was like not eating.
Yeah, so due to the no sugar, no grains, the only thing I had out of the conkins was the burger, and I asked for bacon. I didn't even know they had put brown sugar on it, and as soon as he put it on the plate and I smelled it, I was like, oh no, this has got sugar, and I'm gonna get that off of here.
Damn it. Yeah, well, and you know what? I had regular bacon over at my tent. I wish I would have known because I would have given it to you because, like I said, I dropped the ball and didn't cook breakfast, so I was like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, I would have ate the bacon and then drank the grease. So.
But it was a hell of a fucking time. The way they had it set up was really cool.
Yeah, shout out to Jake Lindsay for setting all that stuff up, and he did a bang up job.
Yes, it was fucking awesome.
Oh, did you hear the bullshit with the land use permit?
Yes, I did. I saw it on Twitter, and I asked him. I was like, "What happened? Is it because there were so many people?" And he was like, "Yeah, we were supposed to have one this year, but he said it works out in his favor." So,
yeah, it was like, so do I go to a website and how much is it? And he goes, "No, it's free. You just got to let him know." And he's like, "Why is there a permit in the first place then?" The state's not even making money off of it.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I didn't know it was free.
Yeah. He said it was just like some kind of form that they had to fill out. It's like, otherwise they can get like a $500 ticket. It's like, all right. That's kind of strange.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're probably going to do something along the same lines next year, at least for the crew in the Southeast. we're what Beatrix and I, because we have 9 acres and we have a pond and
Yeah.
5-bedroom house and all this room that we can do stuff on. So we're actually talking about having everybody come up, pitch in for crawfish, and just having a big ass fucking crawfish boil.
Yeah, there you go.
So we might do something like that and just really, really enjoy ourselves and have some of the guys down in our region and whoever's willing to travel. I mean, it's not Childerberg. It's just going to be like, let's just hang out and eat crawfish for a fucking weekend. Like,
yeah, you'll definitely get Matty K because he lives over there in Port Arthur. So
I did not know that. I need to get in touch with him. I think we follow each other on Twitter.
Yeah, he probably does. Matty K's a great guy. He was the legend of the first Childerberg because he had gotten so drunk that he was like literally falling over himself and not even able to speak. He goes and lays in the back of his truck for like 20 minutes and he comes out.
You're breaking up some, man. Like I didn't hear hardly anything you just said. You were breaking up. It got all garbled on us.
I was breaking up.
Yeah. I don't know if that's my connection or your connection. Somebody's connection.
Yeah, it shows you in the red. Now you're coming back in the yellow. Yeah. Like, let me make sure that I've got some other stuff turned off. So.
Full, yeah, I don't know. It's showing me I got a full connection here.
All right. I'll turn off something. Maybe that might help. All right. So, anyways, as I was, so Matty K was the legend of the first Childerberg. He got so plastered drunk that he was literally falling over himself, unable to speak and everything. So he goes and lays down in the back of his truck, and like 20 minutes later, he comes out. He's like, "All right, I'm ready to party again." It was like, whoa. It was like the quickest recovery we had ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's some of these motherfuckers out there could drink now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of alcoholic beverages being consumed.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff being consumed.
Yeah, Cotton was saying, he's like, I came out of there with more beer than I went in with. And I'm not even sure how that happened.
Well, Beatrix and I we each brought a case of beer with us because that's like. Yeah. That's our typical weekend. We'll each get a case of our own beer, and we'll kind of sit around and chill and just hang out together.
Right.
And by mid-Sunday, we were out of beer. And it was like, oh, shit, this hadn't happened in a long time, and I'm not driving to the store. So I ended up having to get Sherry to drive me to the store.
Yeah.
I got more beer, and then we ran out of that beer around 9 o'clock at night, and we're like, Jesus fucking Christ, why are we drinking so much fucking beer?
Because we're replacing the water that we're sweating out of our faces.
So, yeah. But when we got there, we were both kind of buzzed because we were drinking the entire way there, too. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So.
It was kind of fun. Yeah. It's like, at one point, I was like looking in my cooler because I'm like trying to get my water out. And I was like, there's beer, there's Bang energy drinks. And there was like, whose shit is this? Everyone's like, oh, yeah, man, we needed room. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want you guys to know that when I go to leave, like all of this is getting dumped out. So.
Now you happen to be over on the side where all the crazy shit was happening.
Oh yeah, right over there in Site 34. A lot of stuff goes down over there.
Yeah. It's going to be the legend of Site 34. It's just we're going to have to make that the happening spot every year from now on. That's just going to be where it happens.
Yeah, it was so funny because there was like 3 distinctive groups of Childerbergers this time. So there was like one camp that apparently everyone who had heard about it on Facebook, which nobody had posted anything to Facebook about it as far as I knew, but somehow they heard about it there. That was their little group. And then the second group was like Scott Horton and everybody over by where y'all were at underneath that tree.
Yeah,
and then the Site 34 crew.
Yeah, it was like because E-Militia was over there by us.
Right.
And then there was me, Scott Horton, and then old boy and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, but it was kind of a scarce little. We were like kind of spread out, other than me and Scott, because Scott wanted me to set up next to him, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll set up right here. So we set up right next to Scott, but like E-Militia was a little bit behind us, and then there were a couple of people back behind them. But yeah, but that field right there stayed pretty open the entire time. But
Yeah.
over where y'all were at, man, it was just like that's where everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, what Bird and Carr and Ace and Cotton and Nick and all them guys were over there.
Yeah.
Sherry was over there. Harley was over there, and then there was some other guy. I met him, but I can't remember his name. Who was in?
Are you talking about Wendell?
The RV in the back with the deaf dog?
Oh no, yeah, that was somebody else.
Yeah.
Wendell was another character.
Yeah.
That guy was a trip.
Well, the guy with the deaf dog, he was really a nice guy. I talked to him for a few minutes, and his dog was sweet. His dog played with Butters, but Boogie didn't want any part of playing with another dog, because he's got that hurt foot, so he was like, nah, just stay away from me.
Yeah, because you're gonna jump on me and it's gonna hurt, and I'm not gonna enjoy that.
Well, no, he even did that with his brother for a couple of days when he first hurt his foot. He wouldn't even let Butters get near him. He would just growl, just get away from him, because he's injured, he's weak, he doesn't want him to take advantage of him. So right. Yeah, that's just how he was. Now he is feeling a lot better. He tried to get him a piece of ass yesterday.
Of course.
There was a pit bull that was in the heat yesterday, and he was
no.
like, "Oh yeah, let me get some of that, baby."
Yeah, I bet you he just put his nose up and he's like, "I know that smell."
Yeah. So I made him feel quite a bit better,
Yeah, it was good to meet both of your dogs too. They definitely miss Papa every time Papa walked away from the camp.
Yeah. Yeah, they are definitely like want to be on top of you at every single moment,
Oh yeah.
Whether it would be me or Beatrix. Like if I was holding them and Beatrix went to go do something, they did the same thing to her. It's just, no, you both have to be here under our supervision like at all fucking times. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Pit bulls are fun like that. It's like they're such mama's boys. It's so funny.
Yeah. Well, it's really funny with ours too, because all right, so when we went and got ours, I had seen Butters, which is Beatrix's dog. I had seen him in the video they had posted. I was like, I want that fucking dog. Like I saw it, he looked so different than all the other ones. He was just so sweet looking. I was like, I want that fucking dog. And so we went to go get him for me. And I picked him up, and he was like, kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Beatrix, and I was like, well, do you want to hold him? And she was like, yeah, sure. And he buried himself in her hair and would not fucking move. I was like, well, that's your dog.
Yeah,
like,
now
I
that's
don't know
yours.
what to do. Like, that's your dog. Because she was iffy about whether or not she was going to get one. And so I was like, let me find me one. And Boogie's goofy ass, they were the little girls that lived there were playing with him, and I was like, tell me about this one. And they're like, oh, he's such a goofy dog, blah blah blah, and they were showing me all the shit he did, and I was like, okay, I want this guy. And I was like, he's got the biggest head out of all of them, and he's the goofiest son of a bitch. So I was like, give me this one, keep me entertained. But now Boogie rides with me, has been riding with me ever since he was 5 weeks old. When we get home, he will not leave Beatrix's side. And when I get home, Butters does not leave my side.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Until Monday morning. And Monday morning pops up. Boogie knows I'm about to go back to work. He's following me all over that house because he don't want me to leave him.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of funny how the dogs work like that. That's man, we had a black lab golden retriever mix there for a while, and we had bought this dog for my son because he said he was wanting a dog. So we bring this dog home, and this dog is like all over me, morning, noon, and night. So I mean, literally would get on top of me and everything. This dog, he weighed 100 pounds. He's got the shaggy hair from the golden retriever, but it's all black, so he's hot all the time.
Right.
It's like, dude, you got to get off of me. It's the middle of summer in Louisiana. I can't have a 100-pound dog just panting in my face the whole time. But yeah, it's
back on Childerberg. Just it popped into my head just now. We met the actual Sasquatch. Shout out to Spirit of Resistance 1776. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that guy's flag too. So
that dude was so fucking cool. He hung out with me and Beatrix for like solid from the moment we got there Saturday night until he left Monday, we were fucking all hanging out the entire time. That dude was so cool, so laid back, and so much fun to sit and chill with. And he is Sasquatch, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, he was a big boy.
Yeah, so. he's a big dude, and he was a lot of fun, man. We had a lot of fun just sitting there bullshitting with him. He was so much fun.
Yeah, it's like everybody there was just. I mean, that was the Childerberg is like the best descriptor of it because everyone's just so chill. We're all just kind of hanging out. We're gonna come and go in between the little sites and everything, and meet everybody. And it was so good, even though it was like hot, and then a couple times it rained. It's like everybody was in good spirits the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't run into. Now I can't say I personally met every single person that was there, but I didn't.
It'd be hard to meet 200 people all going around. So yeah,
right. But I didn't meet one person that I was like, "Fuck this dude." Like, I don't want to see that guy again. Everybody was cool, man. Everybody was fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was like one chick who just like sat down, and then she barely said anything, barely spoke, until she warmed up to us a little bit. I guess she was just very shy. And then I was like, do we follow each other? I mean, how'd you hear about this? Because I don't recognize you or anything. I don't want to accuse you of being a Fed, but and she was like telling me her name, and I was like sitting there searching Twitter. And we don't follow each other, but now we do.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of people like the weirdest thing for me, man. It's like so strange for me was like I would be, and this happened. The first time it happened was with Sherry. When I'm at the porta potty waiting to go into the porta potty to take a leak. And some kid's talking to me about all the podcasters and how he's so excited that all these podcasters are there. And I'm like, well, dude, I'm nobody. I just kind of lucked into my position at the Libertarian Institute. And Sherry goes, oh my God, Tommy, I know that voice. And I was like, oh shit, somebody recognizes my voice. This is weird. And then about 20 minutes later, it happened again with Rachel. And I was just like, okay, this is strange that people know me for my voice, right?
Yeah.
It's so weird. So but it was cool. I enjoyed like hanging out with Rachel. We got to bullshit a lot, and we goof off on Twitter a lot because she cracks me up on fucking Twitter. So I was really happy to meet her. Like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she about gave me a bear hug Monday morning when I was leaving. It was like I was going around saying my goodbyes and everything. She like grabbed me by the neck and I was like, oh shit. Because I am considerably taller than she is. Yeah. So, I mean, she jumped up and grabbed me. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, she was a really cool chick. She came over Monday before we left, and she's like, I'm just walking around telling everybody goodbye. And we sat there and we bullshitted for about, another 30 or 45 minutes before they left.
Yeah.
And all that. So, yeah. No, that was a pleasure meeting everybody, especially everybody that I had known of prior to, but never had a chance to chat with. And how dead was fucking Carr, dude?
Oh,
he was like Jeb Bush, dude. That dude was so fucking low energy.
Well, I mean, when we were doing the Slurp Gang podcast, they're like all calling for him to come over there, and he's like, "Man, I'm really not in the mood. I'm so baked right now."
Beatrix at one point in time, she goes, "Baby, we're gonna run out of fucking Biltong," and I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Did Carr get any?" And I was like, "No, I haven't seen him. He hasn't been over here." And she goes, "You better bring him some and tell him I said he better eat it." And I was like, all right, cool. So I go over there and I was like, "Hey, dude, wife told me to give you the biltong, dude. We promised you we'd bring it. You can't get away without fucking having some of it." And he was like, "Thanks, man. I really didn't want to get up." This was like mid Sunday afternoon. Like this was like right in the middle of the day. He was just like, "I'm not getting up. Like fucking, I'm done."
Yeah, like once he's gotten into the hammock, he's not coming out for a while.
Well, he wasn't in the hammock. He was sitting there under that tarp with everybody.
Oh yeah, with the tarp and everything.
Yeah, by the car. Yeah.
It was kind of fun to make making fun of him a little bit because, like, every now and then we would just all just break out with a "yeah, man, yeah, man."
I'm just gonna start calling him low energy from now on.
Low energy car.
Yeah, low energy car.
He's such a good guy. He's a good guy though.
Yeah, he is. He's absolutely cool. He was super inviting. I've had him on the show before. He's nothing but a good dude. He's just He felt this past weekend. He felt the way I did when I interviewed him on the show. So I'm not gonna be too mad at him. Because
and then Bird had to shack up with him for a night because he missed it. They were messing around with the flights and everything. So
yeah. Oh yeah, that's fucking a trip. But Bird didn't seem upset at all. He was like, "I'll stay here. I'll stay in Texas as long as you want me to. Fuck it."
Yeah, he definitely fell in love with the place, and then he had that cowboy hat, and I was cracking up every time I saw him in it. It's only because his face doesn't belong in a cowboy hat, but it's like
But I had actually never spoken to him before. I knew, obviously I knew of him, and I think he probably knew of me, but I'd never spoken to him before. But
I almost want to say he was like the youngest dude there. So
really,
yeah, I think he just turned 21. So
Bird, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah,
dude, that dude's a fucking he's a brilliant son of a bitch too.
Oh yeah, he's pretty well read himself.
Like, did you ever listen to that Fadcast he did with Thaddeus Russell on postmodernism?
Yeah. That was a good. It was
extremely
a good
impressive. Yeah. And then all the stuff he does with Pete.
Yeah, their little. Let's introduce you to all of the types of communism. So.
Yeah, well, he and I were talking, and he was like, "I want to do something for the Institute, yada yada yada." And I was like, "Well, all that stuff you did with Pete, man, that's a big contribution, man. That's some really badass shit."
Yeah, you even touch on like fascist leaders from South America that no one's ever heard of, you know?
Right. And he goes, "Well, I can do one for your podcast too." And I was like, "Well, actually, I was talking to Pete about this one guy. If you want to look at him," and he was like, "Yeah, here's my numbers. Text it to me." So I sent him the guy because it's this dude that even Hitler kind of distanced himself from. He was a fascist leader in Croatia that Hitler was like, "This dude is fucking nuts. Like, I don't want nothing to do with this guy." And
you realize how bad you got to fuck up for Hitler to say, don't invite him to the party.
Exactly. And he was like, "Really? I want to do that." So he's fucking researching on that right now, I guess.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing that. But yeah, no, and he was genuinely just a really great dude. My wife loved him. Loved Anthony, loved Sherry, obviously. Loved BR. Like,
it's really hard to hate on Sherry. So
yeah, she is such a sweetheart. My mom goes, "Is she as inviting as in person as she sounds on the podcast?" I was like, "Sherry is like the sweetest woman in the world.
Yeah,
she is just a doll,
just a human ray of sunshine."
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she gave me some Appalachian sipping cream as a gift, and I was looking at it. It was like, it says banana pudding on it. I was like, wow, that's going to be some wild stuff. So when I brought it home, I said, "Here, look, one of my friends gave me some Appalachian banana pudding sipping cream." And so my wife, at one point, she takes the jar and she goes out into the living room with a spoon. She thought it was just banana pudding. And I was like, what do you need the spoon for? It's moonshine. And she's like, you don't know how disappointed I am right now because I thought this was a jar of banana pudding. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
She's sitting there looking for the vanilla wafers. Dipping wafers in moonshine, man. Dude, that's about as coon-ass as you can get right there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry. It'll get you drunk, though.
That's funny shit, dude. But yeah, so what were your main takeaways from Childerberg?
Much bigger than the first one that I was at. I don't know how Jake Lindsay did it. I mean, that's logistics that I don't even have the brain for. I mean, even to put on that show over there at the distillery with all the music and the comedy acts, and there was a lot of people just there because they had friends that were showing up there, so they just tagged along. And then, by Monday morning, the crowd is going to dwindle. So I think at the height at the campsites there was 200. I think there was about 250 at the distillery.
Right. Yeah, Monica was there, but I didn't go to the distillery.
Yeah, I did get a chance to go up and say hi to Monica and give her a hug. We've done a couple of episodes together. So I mean, she was holding court herself. That was just kind of funny. Yeah, and it's like at one point you look over at her poor husband, who's like, "Okay, here comes another guy to put his arms around you. Great." But yeah, that was all fun. So I mean,
I think my biggest takeaway, man, is it's something I've been saying for quite a long time. All right, so my oldest son is 21 years old. All right, and my youngest is 16. I'll be 17 next month. Jesus, I'm getting fucking old.
Yeah, time goes by fast.
Right.
My son turns 13 in November, so I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Well, so one thing I've been telling everybody about my children is my youngest son is like just instinctually an agorist. I mean, that's just his mindset. That's who he is. His state of mind. My oldest son is definitely a libertarian, if not a full-blown anarchist, just instinctually. They're not reading this stuff. I'm not pushing philosophy down their throats. My oldest son listens to the podcast, sometimes. But by meeting all these other kids, I'm like, it really is something in that generation. Something's happening in this generation. It
was in our generation too, the Gen X crowd.
Right,
so.
Right. It just kind of hit a speed bump with those millennials. Like, I don't know what happened there. But so I think moving forward, I think we're going to see a lot more talk of liberty, a lot more talk of freedom as this generation ages and becomes more mature.
Yeah.
That they're going to be pushing much more of the freedom talk. And I'm wondering if that's not why you see this frantic attempt by the government to clamp down right now before these kids get in power. Because what's going to happen when these kids get in power? These elites, this establishment that we're looking at today that we're all so fucking pissed off at. This boomer generation, their entire legacy is going to be wiped out by the next generation that's coming up. Like people like our generation, we were like anti-political. I was, at least. And it felt like everybody my age was anti-political. We didn't want to run for politics. We didn't want anything to do with politics. It was all a bunch of bullshit for old people. Like, it wasn't for us, right? And I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, because we came up with the Bill Clintons and the George Bush, H.W. Bushes of the world.
Yeah,
and it was like they're just a bunch of criminals. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, they're all douchebags. Like, I don't want nothing to do with these fucking people, know? And so we kind of like separated ourselves from the politic, but now you got this generation that has watched us turn around and go, wait. We separated ourselves for too long. We turned a blind eye just trying to take care of our own fucking business, thinking it had no effect on us. And then it affected us. And now these Zoomers are seeing it and saying, oh, okay. So not only do we have to be somewhat involved in the politic, but we just got to kick their fucking ass. Right. And so they're motivated to do that type of thing. And so I get this, I have this white pill, on, like, again, I'm calling it the chill pill now because I'm like, it's a reason to chill out. It's a reason to relax. I think what's going on right now is the politicians are so aware that if they don't implement tyranny as quickly as possible, this upcoming generation is going to fucking wipe out everything they've done.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that, especially on the local levels.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a lot more of the young kids getting involved on local politics stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I think they definitely have stirred something awake.
Right.
And for them, it doesn't mean good things for them. So
yeah. So everybody just needs to take the chill pill.
Yes, please take the chill pill.
Yes.
Come to Childerberg fear. So
I ain't afeared.
yeah, so that's 4 in German. Oh my God! During that Slurp game when we started doing the German jokes.
I missed that part.
Oh man, yeah. So we're talking about Jake has this idea of creating an intentional community called Childerberg Town, where he eventually wants to hold it, and he goes, I don't know, maybe by Childerberg 9. And so once that started, yeah. Once that started, it was like everybody was yes-anding each other's Holocaust jokes and everything. I was like, oh my God.
Well, this just got out of hand really fast.
Yeah, and then Rollo, chimed in. And he goes, "Well, it is Texans, so it is going to be kind of like an oven outside." I was like, Christ. It's like that's it. We're all canceled. Off to re-education camps we go.
It has happened.
Yes,
they'll be here in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Say your goodbyes. Call your family.
I was like, just looking around in the woods. I was like, I'm about to be black bagged any moment now, aren't I?
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it was a great time had by all. So definitely, if you guys missed it, come out for next year because I think we're going to have at least 300 out there.
I want 500.
Oh,
I want all you motherfuckers that are in the in group that keep saying, we should have been there. Yeah, you motherfuckers should have been there, and you better be there next year.
You should have.
Yeah. Yes. You not only should have, but you better be there next year.
And bring people. Yeah.
And yes, absolutely. And any of you that have wives or girlfriends that are apolitical, that don't want to get involved with the politic, bring them. They're going to have a blast. I know there were quite a few people that didn't bring their significant others because their significant other didn't want to be involved in the political discussions. And I drug my wife out there, and she could not have had more fucking fun.
Right. Now, I left my wife at home, so Mrs. Rebel got to stay home because she didn't want to hang out with a bunch of socially awkward anarchist types. So it's like,
what was socially awkward about that? There was nothing.
She's been to libertarian meetups before. She doesn't like them. So
I don't think there was one libertarian there.
There may have been a few like lowercase L's, maybe.
This was not an LP convention, I promise.
No, it was not. It was actually quite steps wilder than an LP convention. And LP conventions can get pretty wild. So
I have labeled it the Burning Man for peasants.
Yes. It's quite the thing. Coachella for regular people.
Yeah, leave the CEOs at home, bring the peasants, and have a good time.
Yeah. Like who knows? Maybe by Childerberg 10, that's when we'll get the corporate sponsors and flying the millionaires in from out of town.
That'll probably be the day I check out. I'll be like, all right, y'all, I had my fun. Enjoy.
Now we were talking about doing a hard fork of Childerberg and make it Childerberg Cash.
I heard that. I heard Rollo and Bird talking about that.
Yeah, I think Bird just did it just to get under get old Rollo's hackles up.
Yeah, that's funny though. He said even on Twitter something came up and Bird was like, "Oh my God, this is our hard fork moment."
Yeah. Yeah, we have a pretty good fun there on the timeline, and just Childerberg's just a way to bring it out into meat space.
Yeah, well, that and also, man, people were accepting alternate currencies out there. You know?
Yep, you had quite a lot of BitPay going on out there. So
silver, there was some silver exchanged.
That's right, there was. I did see some silver rounds going.
Maybe we'll see some
hands.
Gold backs next year. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah,
someone bring a Kruger in.
Yeah, I'll probably have some Kruger in next year. So.
Well, I mean, you've got the source right there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when I told her that we could buy, solid silver Kruger in, she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" So, that's my excuse into investing, baby. I'm just buying your heritage.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We're
saving a piece of history.
Yeah, it's historic.
and building wealth at the same time.
Right. No, and Bird and I were talking, we were like, yeah, this is going to be Pork Fest South. Like, that's what we're going to turn Childerberg.
That was the main goal, because, you know, even people that go to Pork Fest, I mean, you got to fly into, like, what is it, Boston, and then take another 8-hour drive up to the White Mountains and everything.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so this way it's easy. You fly into Austin, you take a little 30-minute drive, you know, out to the campsite or whatever, and then boom, you're there, you're partying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's not bad at all. I mean, it, you know, and then people in Texas, it's quite a drive for all of us, because we're all scattered out, because Texas is so fucking big. But, you know, I mean, it's not a big deal, man. It's something we can easily, you know, access and get to. And, you know, we're in Texas. We're rednecks. We ain't got a lot of money. We can't be flying all over the goddamn place. You know, but,
yeah, I mean, you might have to dodge a couple of deer on the way in. I mean, that's
whatever.
That's
I dodge deer all the time. That's my job.
Yeah, when I was bringing in Rachel and her boyfriend, we were driving down that little windy road up to the campsite, and sure enough, a doe jumped over one fence, ran across the road, and jumped on another, and they were like on the back going, "Whoa!" I was like, "Yeah, that's a deer."
We were in Kruger National Park in South Africa, and when I went there to meet Beatrix family before we got married and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a wildlife reserve, and you just drive around. You stay in your car. You never get out of your car. You just drive around about 5 miles an hour or whatever. There's giraffes everywhere, monkeys. We saw like cheetah, a mom cheetah and her cubs, all kinds of shit, right? But when we were leaving that evening, we're trying to get out to the gate and leave. And a fucking wildebeest jumped out in front of us and like looking at us like, "What, motherfucker?" And we're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, a little bit bigger than they look on the you know, Prudential of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, I'm sure. So
right, yeah, they're about the size of elk. They're good size. Yes.
Dropping references only the Gen Xers are going to understand. Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
And then one of the cool things is we're driving, and Beatrix was trying to get me to see this one specific area of the park where we run across these two kudu fucking going at it.
Also very huge.
Head to head, man. They're fighting over this fucking pussy because it was mating season. And so they're fucking butting heads and just fucking going at it. And I'm like, stop. I want to watch this. I've only seen this on the fucking
on the TV. Yeah.
On TV. I want to watch this shit. So I made her stop and sit there for like 20-30 minutes. She's like, "Can we go now?" And I was like, "Okay, fine." I wanted to see who won.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you could probably also feel like the impacts and everything, because I mean, that's not a small animal either. So
we weren't quite that close.
Not quite that close.
Yeah, we were close enough to where I could see it in detail what was going on, but it was probably 15-20 yards away from us.
Yeah. I mean,
but I could see it good, and I was like, "This is fucking cool," you know.
I mean, it's even impressive, like during the rut, seeing a couple of old buck whitetails going at it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can only imagine that was pretty wild.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking 130, 140 pound whitetails. I mean, we're talking 250 pound monsters just fucking hammering each other. It was fucking awesome. I was like, this is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Right. Like, you can't make me leave yet.
Yes. I have to see who dies.
So much of the focus of my podcast is to point out abuses of power and how bad things have gotten and the direction in which we're heading as a society. And it can be a real black pill. I've partnered up with Richard Grove to offer my listeners an opportunity to sign up to his Autonomy Course. The Autonomy Course is designed for people looking for solutions, people that want to shape their own future, people that are not willing to be at the behest of large corporations or the United States government or the banking system. The Autonomy Course is designed for those of you who wish to have complete control of the reins of your life, who are looking to be successful, to thrive and not just survive, to provide for your family by utilizing your existing skills and learning how to market and sell those skills in order to be your own boss, or learn new skills in order to leverage that into a new career opportunity. So if there's a job out there you've been trying to get or you've been wishing you could get, but you just don't have the skills for it, the Autonomy Course is the place for you to start, to learn how to land that position, to learn how to market yourself better, to gain confidence, and to be surrounded by a community of like-minded people that will encourage you and help you along the way. So use my affiliate links and go check out the Autonomy Course. It could be right for you.
But all right, man. Well, we talked about everything.
Yeah, just about. That's how these episodes go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't want to get into philosophy or anything crazy. I wanted to talk about Childerberg, man. And
just don't hurt people. Don't take their shit.
Childerberg was so fucking fun. It was such a blast. And
Yes.
Everybody's releasing episodes on it. I figured, why not? But I'm not going to do a solo. I'm going to have somebody else that was there so we can bounce off of each other. And
Yeah.
oh, do you want to tell the tale of Grillberg?
Oh yeah, Grillber. So every Childerberg has their own legend. I told you about the first Childerberg legend, Matty K. I wasn't at the second one, so I'm not exactly sure what the legend was for that one. But the third Childerberg has the legend of Grillber, a.k.a. Tim. And apparently Friday night when the torrential downpour came, he accidentally locked his keys in his car, and he wasn't there for Childerberg. He was just there to camp. And Jake lent him a tent and a sleeping bag. And the next day, we found Grillber up at the distillery hanging out with us. And then on the last night, he's grilled like 75 of those fat conkins because apparently he owns a food truck. And then he hung out with us during the Slurp Gang podcast. So if you listen to that episode for the Childerberg episode, he's on that podcast. So,
well,
yeah,
and
we
also
gained a convert.
from what I understand, and wait, so you missed a part, and I'm trying to remember what it was. He showed up with a case of beer, and he's shoving beer in everybody's coolers.
Yeah, that's right.
He like enters the tent where Carr is sitting there like just hanging out. He like barges into Carr's tent and starts shoving beer into his cooler.
Right.
People are opening their coolers going, where the fuck did this beer come from?
I may have been graced by Grillber then, because there was some beer in the cooler that I didn't put there. So.
Yeah, he showed up with Ziegenbach. Yeah, so if you found
that's right.
Ziegenbach, that's what that was Grillber.
The Childerberg the beer fairy. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw on Twitter. I was like, hey, Bird, Carr, what if Grillber is legal, man?
Yeah, it's like during Slurp Game, we were all kind of. It was like, all right. Are you a ghost? Because you have to tell me if you're a ghost.
He probably had no idea what the hell you were talking about. He was like, what do you mean? What are y'all talking about?
It's like, no, I'm really here. So.
I'm right here. I'm in front of you.
Yeah, and then certain mushrooms got passed around. I don't know how that happened. I don't know who had the mushrooms. But Anthony was like looking. He was like, oh, no, he's taking a mushroom. We're just his psychotic dimension just being played out for him. We're not actually real. You know, it's like, oh, my God. This is where we're going with it now.
I will not confirm or deny that I saw or know anything about any mushrooms.
I'm just saying. Everyone looked like they were having a great time.
Everybody had fun.
Some of us were, looking up at the sky for a little bit too long. That's all.
Maybe laughing a little too hard.
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit.
For a while, about nothing.
Right. It's like, wait, was there a punchline being said? No, he's looking at a tree. Yeah, it's a great time. If you guys missed it, all that FOMO that you feel is well deserved. So.
Yeah. You missed it. You know you missed it. You should never miss it again.
That's right. Make up for it. Come twice next year.
Yeah. We're paying off our truck next January, and my wife and I are already talking about financing an RV. And
there you go.
Yeah, and dude, All right. So we set
The
up
shaggin' wagon.
we set up our tent Sunday night. I just bought this tent, $125. I bought this tent, nice 6-man tent. Bought us a air mattress because I was like, I'm not going to make the wife and the dogs all sleep on the ground. I'm used to it. I was in the Army, but whatever. Like, I'm going to get an air mattress just to make it a little more comfortable. So we set up the tent, everything. We get in the tent Saturday night. Everything goes fine. We go to get out of the tent. Butters gets caught at the bottom of the tent.
Yeah.
Like where the zipper is, because I didn't unzip the sides at the bottom. I just unzipped it up, and I was just like, you can spread it and walk through. Well, as he's walking out, he gets caught in it. He freaks out and he jumps.
Oh, no.
He jumped. He ripped the damn stake holders, the little like lip tabs. He ripped like one of them, and I was like, okay, it's just one of them. I can fucking work it out. Like, I'll make it work. Well, that evening we go to get back in there, and as I'm getting him in there, he decides, oh, fuck no, this is the thing that bit me earlier.
Right.
I don't want to get in there. So he like twists as he's going in, and he rips 4 more of them fucking things. So we're sleeping Sunday night in a tent. The whole front of it had collapsed. So J-Dog, he goes by J-Dog on Twitter. I don't want to say his name in case he don't want his name said.
Yeah.
But he goes by J-Dog on Twitter.
Changing the names to protect the innocent.
He's holding the tent open so that Beatrix can get in there, and then I'm sitting there finishing my beer, having a cigarette, and he's still holding the tent up. And I'm like, dude, are you gonna sit there and hold the tent up all night? She's already asleep.
Yeah.
Like, you can go, seriously, it's gonna be okay. I'll be able to get in there. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. He was the nicest kid, really nice kid. Like, I had a really good time with him. But I'm like, yeah, dude, you don't have to sit there. You don't have to sit there and hold the tent open. It's fine. You'll be sitting there all fucking night, dude. Like, please don't do this to yourself. You know, like. So shout out to my boy J-Dog, man.
Yeah.
Straight up good kid. And I was just like, no, dude, you really do not have to do this.
Fantastic. Yeah. So next year you guys can have all these stories and more. So definitely come out and see.
Yeah. We didn't tell half the stories, but some of the stories, like, what happens at Childerberg stays at Childerberg.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Is it a cult? Nope, not a cult. Not at all. We promise.
Maybe a little bit. All right. Stop it.
You wanna be a hero, instead you're just a slave. All your good intentions took you to your grave. Your pride is how they killed you. With the flag you wave just like a fool. They promised you a mountain, gifted you a stone. They demanded that you throw it into your neighbor's home, and then seize all that they worked for and give it to the throne just like a tool. Well, as we all just stand in line and glorify new ways of being cruel, it seems to me humanity is not something that they're teaching us in school. They dumbs down all around, propaganda, their pollution. They set a cage up on the stage, a facade for all solution. They build a wall, block them all from this mental institution. It's insane. Now they're writing their own rule books and they're crossing all their T's. They're fashioning their people to all wear beggars' knees. If you want a clean drink of water, well, you must say pretty please. It's all a game. As we all just stand in line and justify these crimes done in our names, Seems to me authority and tyranny are both one and the same. Well, it's time to change the channel. It's time to set things right. Make them all rot with fear in their beds at night. Devour all their worthless souls and sacrificial right, just like we should. Of those who are to blame, and we'll stack them up like cordwood, watch them sizzle on the flames for good. Well, as we all just stand in line waiting for some kind of Robin Hood, our liberty will never be until our right to freedom is understood.